Hi guys, Abby here. So we are at the end of the year and it's almost Christmas. So I wanted to do the end of year book tag. I've seen Sarah Caroli do it. I've seen Destiny Sidwell do it. She kind of started this one that I'm doing. She took questions from her audience and turned it into a tag, and it's kind of just Chinese whispered itself through people, and I am eventually going to do it now. I'm so excited to be here. Let's crack on. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so the first question is most disappointing read. So I have two because I couldn't pick between them. So my first is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I had such high expectations for this book. I had such high hopes for this book. And don't get me wrong, I didn't hate this book. It disappointed me. So I really loved maybe like the first 3/4 of the book, and the last quarter completely killed it for me. As someone who is in computing, I just didn't like the main girl character. I can't even remember her name. I read it so long ago. But she was just so annoying to me. But her character, she bothered me the way she treated Sam, and I think that's the main character's name. But her last decision, no. Done. Nope. So it disappointed me. I didn't hate it. So don't get me wrong. I didn't hate it. But I didn't like it either. Then my second book that really disappointed me was Ithaca. So I purchased this with Christmas coupons. Uncle Drew got me a Waterstones voucher, and this is what I spent it on. And girls, I wish I spent it on something else. There was far too many characters in this book, and whose perspective is it from? It's from someone's perspective. Whoever's perspective is from, I can't even remember. Is it Helis's perspective? It's from Hera's perspective. I'm not gonna lie, most of the time I didn't know that. Half the time I was like, who is speaking? Like, which character are we talking about? And they had to specifically say the character's name so I knew where I was in the book. I might give this another go in 2024 because I'm going to make Luke read it. And he has a better understanding of all the Greek stories. We just watched a video review of Cersei and it was a negative review about it, and I feel very hyped after that to defend Cersei, so I might give this another chance after Luke's read it and maybe he can explain some stuff to me. What was an underdog book? And if you watch my channel, you know exactly what my underdog book's going to be. It has to be Doctor Who, 11 Doctors, 11 Stories. I've had this on my shelves for 10 years. It literally had a receipt in it for 2013 and I still hadn't read it. It went on 3 different TBRs, one of which so it was on 3 TBRs, but then there was also another TBR it was supposed to be on, and I rolled extra rolls just to get out of it. I wish I'd read this sooner. Oh my goodness. And I'm really lucky my new library in Paisley has loads of Doctor Who books at the moment, and loads of Doctor Who memorabilia and a TARDIS and Daleks and a whole control panel, and it's so cool. So I definitely want to read more. And it's got some of my favourite authors, so Ian Colfer, Marcus Sedgwick, Patrick Ness. Like, oh my goodness, that is actually another underdog book. Let me go get it because I forgot about that one. Another underdog book was More Than This by Patrick Ness. This is another one I got from school. So this is actually, I'm really sorry to my school, but this is one that they gave me because we were reading all the books for a specific prize. I don't know what prize it was. And this is the book that I took home and said I was going to read. And I didn't have the time for it. And then the more it sat there, I didn't know what it was about, and I think that was the issue. And it's actually like a sci-fi, LGBTQ+. It's got everything is young adult, and I've really, really enjoyed it. Like, I want to convince Luke to read this in the coming year. I don't know why I've not forced him to read it yet, but I think he would also really like it. And I was so shocked at how good this was, considering I'd left it on my bookshelf. I'd ignored it. I'm surprised I hadn't even given it away. But yeah, I'm glad I kept it, and I'm glad I finally read it. And I read this quite early on in the year, so that was a good start to the year. What is an overhyped book you read this year? Some of you are going to hate this. Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. So a lot of my friends love this book, and that's okay. It's great. I had bits that I loved as well. The red is angry, the yellow is love, the green is funny, and the white are quotes. So there you go. There's a mixture of everything. It just wasn't my favourite. I didn't get that like kicking and screaming that everyone else felt. I don't know what it is about Tess Bailey. I think that some of her scenes, especially her romantic physical scenes, are cringy as hell, and I just can't sometimes. However, I would like to thank my Secret Santa who bought me, oh my goodness, what are they called? Hook, Line and Sinker, and the other one by Tessa Bailey. Oh my goodness, what is that called? Oh my goodness, give me a sec. Oh my goodness, it happened one summer. My book, Secret Santa, got me both of those books, and I'm so excited for them. Like, I am still excited for them, even though it's Tessa Bailey, because I've heard such amazing things, and I've heard the first one is Grumpy Sunshine, and I've been really into that this year. However, I did not necessarily love this book, and I think that it is overhyped. A book that surprised you. If you watch my latest video, STEM Girl Reads STEM Books, which you should go watch if you've not watched it, you will know that The Love Hypothesis absolutely wowed me. Like, I went into this ready to hate on it. I heard so much and I was like, this book is going to be cringe, this book is going to be absolutely terrible. And you know what? Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I am a Ali Hazelwood stan now. She got me. She got me. It is so good. If you've not read Ali Hazelwood, you should give her a try. She's not cringe like everyone. I don't know, I just got the vibe off everyone that that's what it was going to be, because everyone told me this was going to be a Star Wars fanfic, and that made me physically sick. That made me violently sick in my mouth, and I avoided it at all costs. It barely even mentions Star Wars, like barely even mentions it. It just mentions they like it, and then there's like a cute wee, I hate you. I know. I love it. It's so good. So good. 10 out of 10. Favourite book couples of the year. So the first book I physically don't have, but my first favourite book couple is Naomi and Knox. This was my first ever Grumpy Sunshine book, and boy did it get me obsessed with Grumpy Sunshine. A lot of people don't like it because it starts off really slow, but you know what? I enjoyed it. I like that we get the perspective from her, we get the POV of her, and we get the POV of him. So we get that like Grumpy Sunshine, how he starts to soften, but it's always a protectiveness thing with him. It's never like I don't like her. It's always like I don't think I'm good enough for her. I think she deserves better, but I'm still gonna look after her. I'm gonna make sure that no one hurts her. Loved it. I need to read the next two books. I've heard mixed reviews about those, but I've not had a chance to pick them up yet. So the next couple we have is Victoria and Oliver. So I just read this really recently, even though this is the first book in the series. I accidentally read it out of order, but it didn't make a difference. I love them nonetheless. I love the dynamic of the friendship in this whole series. Like, I only have the first three, I need to get the fourth one. I love the dynamic of the friends in this. I love their past, and I love how we learn about it and how it affected each of them differently, and I love how they embrace it and really just live their lives. So in this one we have Victoria and Oliver, and I just love that, like, even though like he comes across as like trying to keep his family happy and like doing anything to keep them happy, like and she can't necessarily give him all the things that his family would want to be happy, but I love that him and his family love her so much that that small factor doesn't bother them. Like, they love her for her, and the two of them, they're just so sweet. And just I was saying to my friends, because we buddy read this in December, I was saying it just reminds me of my boyfriend, because he loves me for who I am, and no matter what I'm going through, he always gets me through it, and I adore that. And in this, Oliver really pushes her passions and like helps her like get ahead in, like, by giving her a space to showcase her designs. And I feel like my boyfriend does that a lot for me. He helps me with my YouTube, he films some of my videos, and he just gives me some great ideas, so I appreciate it. Comment down below if Luke should make a booktube next year. I think he should. He has great opinions on some books, some that you and I have both read, so let's get this to 30 likes and I'll make him make a booktube. So for Mally and Todd and Zoe and Finn, it's very much of the same. Like, I love the dynamic between the couples. Obviously in Zoe's in a wheelchair, as you can see in the cover. We love the disability rep. And Finn just doesn't care. Like, she seems to think that he will care that she's in a wheelchair and stuff. He just loves her for who she is, and I feel like it's very much the same here. That Mally has her insecurities, and Todd's just like, and what? Like, and what? I love what you do for the kids that you give lessons to. You really build people up and you help them through stuff, and just, that's what we need. That's what we need. We need loads of strong males lifting women up. That is it. Like, loving women for who they are, not trying to change them, not trying to manipulate, but just loving them for who they are. And it's like makeup, isn't it? Like, we wear makeup to enhance, we don't wear makeup to change. We need more male characters like that, males that just want to lift us and not change us. Favourite main characters of the year? Surprise, surprise, we have Olive from The Love Hypothesis. I've seen a lot of myself in her, and do you know what? She was written beautiful. She was just perfect. Her flaws made her so perfect, and that's what I love about it. And she was always like trying to put others in front of her, and in the end she got what she deserved, which is all positive vibes. The next character I really loved was Charlotte from The League of Gentlewomen Witches. So I'm really enjoying this series. I've read the first two, I need to get the third one. But Charlotte's just so confident. She is just so funny and out there and everything that I wish I could be, to be honest. She doesn't care about what anyone thinks of her. Like, obviously as a witch, she's not supposed to show that she's a witch so that she doesn't get arrested, but she's just like out here, like, I need to do what I've got to do, let's do it, here we go. And that's the kind of main character I love. I love a strong female main character that is just gonna do everything that I wish I could be, do you know what I mean? And my third favourite main character is actually from this chonker, Under the Dome, and it's our lead male, Barbie. He is just Dale Barbara, what a guy. He is basically taking on this role to lead this town and get them through this crazy 800, nearly 900 page situation, and he just grabs it by the balls. And there's a lot of characters that try to like run him out of town, and he's like, we need to stick together, we just gotta do this, we gotta get this done, if not I'll beat you up. And he doesn't, he was in the army, but you don't really like his description. I'd say there's like descriptions I've heard of like male characters that are a lot bigger than him that you would like think would be more scary, but like he manages to keep people in line, and it's pretty great. New favourite author you have discovered? I'm just going to quickly say Ali Hazelwood. You all know it's Ali Hazelwood. She is one of my new discovered authors this year, and I absolutely love and adore her. That's all we're going to say on that, because I've just been talking about her this whole time. Another one is Amy Lee. This book was so good. I can't wait to read X's and O's. Someone said that I should read it in February for Valentine's, so I'm going to stick to that. But yeah, no, me and my boyfriend obviously made this cover as well, and the author, Amy Lee herself, commented on it, loved it, shared it, and that made my absolute year. Because this book is so good, you need to give it a go if you've not. I'm a gym girly, so I love it. I wish I was a gym influencer, but I'm not that kind of gym girly, like I don't care that much, but she's so good. I love her writing. It was so easy and fun to read, and I liked both the main characters. They were just so silly. It was great. For a newly discovered author, also obviously Georgia Toffolo. However, she was helped with each of the books. This one by Louisa George, the next one by Rachel Stewart, and this one by, if we can find it, Avro Tremaine. Now, I don't know if they just proofread it or whatnot, if she told them what to write and they wrote it, but all the books sounded the same. Like, it sounded like the one writer wrote it, so I just thought I'd mention all their names just in case they did a big chunk of it, and it's best to give credits to where it's due. Most frustrating book you read this year. So the first one I'm going to quickly go over is Barking Up the Right Tree. I don't know if the book necessarily itself is frustrating, rather than the title frustrated me. Barking Up the Right Tree. Well, you've only gone and bloody told me the whole plot. You've only gone and bloody told me that it's going to be barking up the right tree. So the main character makes this wild guess quite near the beginning, and the whole time all I could think was, I think our first guess was right, because she's barking up the right tree, and everyone keeps telling her, no, that's not the case, that's not going to be, no way that would be it. And she's like, oh, maybe it's not, babe, barking up the tree, it's called Barking Up the Right Tree, of course she's going to be right. And in the end she was right. So it drove me mad, drove me absolutely insane. I think I spoke about it on TikTok, and I think I spoke about it on Instagram, but it absolutely grind my gears. But another one that absolutely grinded my gears and drove me absolutely insane was Layla by Colleen Hoover. This completely, I cut her off after that. Colleen Hoover, I absolutely cut her off after it. This book, what on earth? Like what on earth happened? It was so frustrating because it was so dumb, and like, this was the first book I've ever DNF'd. I've never DNF'd a book before this book. But my issue with it is how long it was taking to get to the point, but also what on earth? Like, she was writing a male character, and I felt like he was a very feminine male character, but I don't mean that in a derogatory way, and I don't mean that in a negative way against men. Men can be a little bit more feminine, like, there's nothing wrong with that. My issue was he was basically just a woman with a man's name. Like, the way he was reacting to situations, like, it just wasn't believable, like, at all, and it frustrated me so much. And I spoke to others, and other people felt the same, so I don't feel as bad after that. But I just googled what happened, and I was like, seriously, you're joking, kidding me on, can't deal with that. So I'm glad I DNF'd it, because I would have been so disappointed. What is the happiest book you read this year? So when I just recently read this, so obviously this is what first came to my mind. So the 3 novellas Under One Roof, Stuck Through and Below Zero. Yeah, they're not necessarily happy stories, but like, it was that giggling, kicking my legs sort of deal, and I absolutely loved it. I didn't stop loving it the whole time, and I was just so happy. And like, whenever I think about these novellas, I just can't stop smiling, and I absolutely adore them. So this is definitely happiest read. What is the longest book you read this year? So I actually can't remember, and I've not necessarily marked all of them, but this is 877 books. So this is definitely up there with longest books of the year. I want to read a lot more Stephen King books. I want to get the coloured Stephen King books that are all the different spined colours that just say Stephen King. Beautiful. I want all of them. So I will have to sell this or give it to charity when I do swap it over for the new cover. What is the shortest book you read this year? So the shortest books were these novellas. They're 112 pages each, I'm sure. And that's the shortest I've read. I've not read anything shorter than that. What are your favourite covers of the year? Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I've not had the chance to read this book yet, but how stunning, how absolutely stunning is this cover. You can't say anything about it. Then we have the 12 Topsy-Turvy Very Merry Days of Christmas. I intend to read this in the next couple of days, but I love this Broken Bauble. I think it is so cute. I love how clean this cover is. I don't know what it is about hard books. I feel like they always have the best covers. Then actually, believe it or not, I love this cover. Unfortunately, Yours by Tess Bailey. Look at it. Adorable. I love cartoon covers sometimes. I think that is so cute. Look at her with her Louboutins, girl. I see you. Very cute. And lastly, I love this. So this is by Marcus Sedgwick. It is A Ghost of Heaven. Look, it has got the blue. And this is another one I bought back in like 2013. So this was another one that had loads of time. But I love these spirals. I think they're so awesome. And I love how they connect to the stories. Like you haven't stopped thinking about, obviously, all the Ali Hazelwood's one. However, The Pursuit of Love by Nancy Mitford. I found this in New Orleans in a wee bookshop, and I just picked it up for some pictures, but I accidentally started reading it and I was like, I adore this, so I need to buy it. I read this all in the one go. I read this in one day. It was so good, and I think about it often. The main character, oh my goodness, I adored it, and I think you should read it. It is, like, it's not necessarily a classic. When did this come out? This came out nearly 100. Oh, Crescent City Books. Oh, look, they gave me a wee bookmark. Oh, I need to put that in with my bookmarks. But yeah, when did this come out? This came out in like the early 1900s. 1945 this came out. So this is like nearly 100 years old. So you should read it if you haven't. It is beautiful. The cringiest book of the year. I had to get rid of it. It was My Killer Vacation. Oh, I can't cope. I can't cope. Anyone who likes this, please comment down below and explain it to me, please. Like, I am open to hear other people's interpretations, but I cannot. It was so cringe. This character, so the male character, it's got the two perspectives. The main character, that was a male, is from Boston. He's from Boston, so think of a Boston accent. And then think of him saying the line, I can't even say it, It's gonna make me literally sick. Are you trying to make me nut, sweetheart? In a Boston accent. Just soak that in for a moment. Just soak that in for a moment. Now tell me it's not the cringiest. Now tell me, please. Yeah. Cringiest book ever. No, can't. No, thank you. Books with the most unique concept that you read this year. So I did a lot of catching up this year on books that other people had already read, so I don't have many that are unique. However, I found The Launch Party by Lauren Forry and the works for their 3 for £6 deal, and this concept is insane. So 10 people get picked to go to the launch of a hotel on the moon. How amazing. And they get to go on the moon, and we see them go on the moon, and then something happens and there is a murder. So we have to figure out who killed this person, why they killed this person, and where the murder is and what they're going to do next. On the moon. Like, do you know what I mean? That is fun, it is unique, and I absolutely adored it. There was questionable things in this book. There was parts that I didn't agree with, and there was parts that I wish were better, but all in all, it was a great concept and I think it was executed really well. Book that you read this year that you would reread again. So I read the last 3 books of the Shadowhunter series this year. This whole series, just this whole series, I would love to read again. As soon as I finished it, I wanted to start from the very beginning and read it again. However, I would love to get more of the books in this world and read those too. So maybe if I get those books, I will then do a reread of just like the whole world. I just adore it, and that's why I'm very excited to get into Swordcatcher. I just love Cassandra Clare's writing. I think she's absolutely amazing. That was just like a reflection on your reading goal for the year. So I had a few reading goals. My first one was to read 70 books, and I absolutely nailed that. I'm reading books 90 and 91 right now. I have plenty of time to read 92 and 93, do you know what I mean? So I think that's pretty awesome. If I get to like 95, that would be cool, but I'm not putting a deadline on that. I'm not making sure that happens. I'm just reading for joy now that I've hit my 70. I wanted to read in at least one other language, and I did. I read En Busca de la Entrada Secreta, which is obviously a Spanish book. It's a kid's book, but you know what? I had a great time reading it. It was a load of fun, and I would love to read more from that specific series. Another goal that I had was to read more non-fiction books, and once I finish my current read, I will have read 11 non-fiction books this year, which is like near enough one a month, just maybe like one away from one a month. But I had a lot of fun with it and I really enjoyed it. I wanted to make sure I was reading off my physical TBR, which I think I did. I did accomplish it. I barely read any ebooks, etc. However, I did buy a lot of books this year, so that maybe didn't help a lot. Like the math ain't mathin', you know. I've still got over 50 odd physical on my TBR when I started with 70 at the beginning of the year, but I read like 90 books. The math ain't mathin', do you know what I mean? And the last goal I had for the year was to finish series before starting series. Yeah, that also didn't happen. I think I'm on like 30 series right now. Like I think I'm reading like 30 series. There is a lot of them where I only have one book left though, so that is a positive and potentially good for the year to come. The last question is one you've probably all been waiting for. What is my goals for reading for 2024? However, I am not going to be telling you in this video because I'm going to make a whole video in the new year of my goals. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a lot of fun. I tag everyone and anyone to do this video. So please, if you want to, tag me in your video so that I can see your answers. And make sure you like the video so that it helps my channel. Subscribe to become part of this lifestyle and bookish family. We have a great time here, and keep the notification bell on so you don't miss any of my videos. And comment down below your favourite book of the year, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!